What is up? Decided to keep it interesting today on this Thursday. Congratulations, everybody. You've made it through the halfway point of the week. Lucas here, Fantasy Football Perspective, bringing you another video. Appreciate you guys tuning in so far. Before we get started, go hit that subscribe button. It's free. Create an account even if you have to on YouTube. Help me grow my channel. We're at 34 subscribers. That quest for 1,000 is real. I need to get there. I want to get there, and we'll do everything I can to get there. I need your help. Appreciate all the support so far. Today's video is going to be 4 separate mock drafts with 4 separate types of leagues. The first mock draft we're going to do is just your typical PPR redraft league. These are the most common types of league, that season-long league. Draft number 2, we're going to go over a Dynasty Superflex league. This is something that's kind of on the up and coming. It's got popular the last 2 years. More and more people are doing it. I think it's good that you start seeing, the difference between a redraft league and a Dynasty league and kind of how the draft board goes. The third draft we're going to do is something called a keeper league. It's kind of a combination of your redraft and Dynasty league. They are season-long leagues, but there's some specific rules that kind of go along with the keeper league. I'm going to share those rules with you once we get there. I'm generating these rules kind of from the keeper leagues that I'm in. And the last mock draft we're going to do is going to be a best ball mock draft. Best ball is becoming popular today because sites like Underdog Fantasy, FanDuel, DraftKings are all coming out with these best ball formats, season-long drafts. And best ball is very entertaining. It's very low maintenance, and that's why it's becoming such a big thing. And I'll go over the rules of that when we get there. Hey, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I need you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's hit that intro. Okay, let's dig in. So, I am using the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard. Listen, there are a lot of different websites you can do mock drafts on, so I do recommend kind of switching it up because each of these sites kind of have their rankings they go off of. I'm using the Fantasy Pros because I do have a higher membership, so I can import my league settings a lot easier without, having to go individualize and doing it. So it's just easier and time saving. So the first thing we're going to touch is just a PPR format, season long. This is that standard league. You guys know my strategy if we've done it. We're going to do about 5 or 6 rounds of each. Just going to dig in, guys. I think I'm drafting from the 9th position because that's what I'm drafting at in our actual league. So we get here. You guys know my strategy. We're bringing up those RBs. We're seeing who I like the most. I like Jonathan Taylor and Austin Eckler. I just love Austin Eckler's upside this year. I like Saquon too. Pretty good reports coming out of the Giants. He's doing well. Not quite going to reach for him in the first round just with that injury risk. Eckler's a safe pick. Remember, 8 targets a game with Herbert. Locked and loaded. Let's do it. Let's see who comes back to me on the turn. Go on RB again. The receivers are loaded with talent. You don't have to reach. Are all these players going to be good? Yes. But once you start digging into wide receiver 8 through 24, the difference of points per game is like 2 or 3 points. So you don't need to reach for that in the second round. So which running back do I like the most? I like Gibson, I like Mixon, and I like Najee Harris. Just to diversify the revenue, I think Najee Harris is locked and loaded for 250 to 300 touches. No competition in that backfield. They are a pass-first team, I feel like, but I do think they want to get back to that ground and pound. I think Mixon has high upside. They say he's going to be the workhorse. They said that in the past. There's always someone that gets some third down work. And Gibson had a great season. He averaged 19 fantasy points a game. when he got 15 or more touches. So I don't think you can go wrong with either of these three. I have them close to the same tier now. But I'm just going to diversify my revenue, and I'm going to go with Najee Harris because I don't have any shares of him. All right, circling all back around. We're going to study this draft board real quick. See what's going on here. So I started off with the duo. Matt Ice and Easy started off with the duo too. I think that's the way to go. Henry and Mixon's a good way. I really like that name. I don't want no Chubb. That's pretty funny. McCaffrey, Clyde, and Mahomes. That's a good stack. This is where I'm going to start looking at the receivers, see who I like the most. I think people are sleeping on Godwin. He's a target monster. I'm just going to go ahead and take him. I think he's kind of in a tier of his own. And then comes back to me, and I'm going to get my chance of another. Or I'm going to go Chris Carson. Do I like the upside of these guys? Or is there a chance that maybe one of these guys fall to me? Look at the percentage of these guys. Is there a huge difference between a Cooper Kupp and a Kenny Golladay, Jamar Chase, Claypool? I don't think so. So personally, I'm going to go with the upside of Chris Carson. Lock in my running back room. I have 3 workhorse type running backs. Well, Austin Eckler's not a workhorse, but he does get the catching. And then I'm still going to get a chance at one of these guys. So I got T. Higgins as my wide receiver too. I love T. Higgins. And then I'm going to just go ahead and lock in. Look at the tight ends. No tight ends I'm reaching for. This might be right where I take a quarterback. I think there is a tier gap between Dak and Russell. I think Dak's offense is just going to be insane this year. So I'm going to take Dak, and I'm going to do one more pick for you guys. Just want you guys to see this start. I think this is a heck of a start. We're here. Don't love any of these guys. I like Cooks. I don't like the offense. DJ Chark with his hand injuries kind of getting a little scary. I like Antonio Brown's value. Tom Brady targets him a lot. Jarvis is a guy I like. See if there's any good tight ends. Running backs. Kind of avoiding Gaskins at this point. I might just go ahead and take Javonte. Get 4 good running backs. My running backs are set for the year. Don't have to worry about it. I kind of can pick a receiver now. Look, everyone's still there. Probably going to go with Antonio Brown or Jarvis for the season-long league. Let's go with they're both high-powered offenses. My gosh. Let's go with Jarvis because I already captured Chris Godwin in that offense. That's kind of where we're going to stop here. That's 8 rounds. That's a great, great start. I'd probably go tight end the next round. No offense there. I mean, that's locked and loaded. And that's what you can. I'm just going to go ahead and draft it so you can see it. So that's my start. Eckler, Najee, Godwin, Chris Carson, T. Higgins, Dak, Javonte, Jarvis, Noah Fant. I don't know how much better you can do from the 9th position than that. That is a good team. I like it. All right. So redraft, standard, your typical year-long leagues. This is what it kind of looks like for me. We're moving on to the Dynasty Superflex. This is when it starts getting interesting. If you guys don't know what a Dynasty Superflex is, here's your lineup kind of parameters. Your bench would have a lot more than this. I don't really care for this instance. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 or 3 flexes, and then a super flex where you can actually play 2 quarterbacks. The purpose of this, raise the value of the QB. They go from one of the least valuable positions to the most valuable positions to kind of mimic fantasy or actual football, make fantasy football more comparable to actual football. There's other things you could do too that are coming along. You can make tight ends get 1.5 catches per you can have tight ends get 1.5 points per reception instead of 1.0. That raises the tight ends and it puts everyone on a more even playing field. What we did too is we're raising your starting position of 2 wide receivers to 3. So that raises the value of wide receivers as well. Just little minute changes like that, changing the value of these players or these positions will help raise trade engagement in your league, and that's kind of one of the biggest purposes of it, and one of the most fun things to do in these dynasty drafts. Another thing with these dynasty drafts is the ability to trade draft picks before the draft. We're not going to be able to experience that there, but apps like Sleeper and My Fantasy League, I think that's what it's called, all give you that ability. So it's something cool to experiment with, see what happens. So let's see what happens in a true Superflex league here. I'm not going to lie, I haven't done many of these, but my strategy still stays the same. I'm kind of going into it trying to leave the first round. Ooh. I'm probably going to reach on a QB. I'm probably going to take Lamar here. I like his running upside. And then I'm going to start targeting running backs. So I'm going to grab Najee. I think he has a good couple years left. I'm going to grab, oh gosh, Gibson. So now my team's young. So go ahead and look at the draft board. So I don't really reach on my second quarterback in these kind of drafts. The reason being is you want your QB2 to be someone that you'd be comfortable starting in redraft. And for me, there's a lot of players that I'd be comfortable starting in redraft if I had to. All the way down to like Baker Mayfield, Matt Ryan. Those could be my QBs too. So I'm not really reaching and too worried about it. If I get good value in these early rounds, fine. I'll probably go ahead and snag him. But I'm not going to reach. So here's where I'll start looking at another kind of running back. See if there's anyone that kind of shoots out at me right off the gate. Travis Etienne is kind of tempting at this end, the rookie. Javonte Williams. I'm probably going to wait on Travis Etienne and get Javonte Williams at the turn if I can. Looking at this. Kyle Pitts is kind of tempting too because he's young. But this is probably where I'll take my first young receiver. None of these guys are young up here, so watch out for that. I'm actually probably going to take Brandon Ayuk. I like Brandon Ayuk's upside this year. With that being said, if Trey Lance is there back on the turn, I'll probably snag him up. Get that stack. Oh, he got taken. Darn it. So now we're here. See right here again. Hawkinson's tempting. I think we got to go with another young receiver, and I'm going to go with Deontay again, 24 years old. Still has 5-6 years, his third year. So I got two young receivers, two young running backs. This is probably where I'll reach for my second QB. Fields is sitting there. Going to pull the trigger. I'm liking this start a lot, guys. Liking this start a lot. So this is what happens, though. The running back situation gets pretty rough at this point. I like Kareem Hunt in Dynasty League because there's a pretty high possibility that he's on another team next year being their running back. So I like that a lot. Receivers, I like Jalen Waddle. I think he's going to be a great player. Elijah Moore's looked nothing but fantastic in camp until he got injured. Tight end, Hawkinson. This might be the time to get him. Hawkinson going into his third year as well. Look at that start, guys. Probably going to do one more. You guys can tell me how I did. This is the dream start in these kind of leagues. Waddle's still sitting there. I'm going to stare at him in the eyes a second. And then I'm going to take him. And there we are. Again, a great start. I got my QB1, who I think has top 1 potential. If he can get back to the old Lamar Jackson from a few years ago. I have Najee and Antonio Gibson, a rookie and a second-year running back to dominate my league for the next 5 to 8 years. I have Ayuk, a sophomore receiver who has tremendous upside. I have Deontay Johnson, who averaged almost 10 targets a game last year. Little bit scary situation when we don't know Big Ben, but there's high probability that they either A, trade for someone, sign someone in free agency, or their draft Ben's successor. The only thing that I wish was a little bit different, I wish this was Trey Lance instead of Justin Fields. Just because I have Brandon Ayuk, I'd love to stack at. Hawkinson, top 4 dynasty tight end, top 5. Waller and Kelsey are getting up there in age a little bit, so I'd say probably top 4, and a great rookie receiver. So again, good draft. I would take this all day in a dynasty startup. Moving on, this is called a keeper league. So a keeper league is a combination of a redraft and a dynasty league. Some keeper leagues, you can keep multiple players for the next season. Others you can keep, like this league, you can keep one player for the next season. So you get to keep a player from your last year's team in the same round that they were drafted at the previous year. So with these leagues, I think it's very beneficial to draft a rookie running back or a rookie high upside quarterback or high upside receiver in the 7th or 8th round with the chance that they hit, and then you have a great keeper with great value the next year. For instance, this isn't a rookie, but Stephon Diggs was drafted in the 7th round last year in this league. So the guy's obviously keeping Stephon Diggs in the 7th round of this league. You're getting Stephon Diggs, a 2nd round consensus ADP player, in the 7th round. That's kind of what I go. So yes, I'm drafting to win now, obviously, but I'm also keeping in my back of my mind, where are these rookie running backs at? Can I pick one in the 7th, 8th, 9th round that has a probability of starting that could be a 2nd or 1st round running back next year? And if I can hit on that, then I keep setting myself up for success in the future. All right. So I do have the 2nd pick in this league. So Dalvin and Kamara. With Taysom Hill rumored to be starting, I don't like Alvin Kamara as much anymore as when I did my tier video. I think Dalvin Cook is higher upside. If Jameis comes out to be the starter before my draft, I'm probably going to take Kamara, but I'd like Dalvin in front of Kamara with Taysom Hill starting. We had a pretty big sample size, 3 or 4 games, but Taysom Hill is a starter, and Alvin Kamara's stock and just production went down in my head a little bit. So we're here. Terry McLaurin, I did my top 5 video, potential top 5. I'm snagging him in the 3rd all day if he's there. I know George Kittle is there. Rookie QB, more weapons than George Kittle's ever had to battle with. Could he still get his? Sure. A little bit higher risk than usual. Speaking of weapons, I see Ayuk staring at me in the eyes. Taking him. And then I'm going Kyler. Kyler in the 5th round is an absolute steal in these drafts. Reason being, look at his stats from last year. He was on pace to be the highest ranked fantasy football player of all time until he hurt his shoulder. Something to keep in mind when you're looking at that. That's pretty crazy stat. This is when I will check my roster real quick. So I got my 2 young receivers, my 2 workhorse running backs, and a potential top 5. Pretty much guaranteed top 5 quarterback. Not touching tight end till later now. All my favorite targets are off. This is when I start trying to decide between, do I take the rookie running back or do I take the old school receiver? I'm going to take a chance and we'll check the draft board, see who he's got. He's taking a lot of receivers and only 2 running backs, so he's probably going to take a running back. So now I'm going to actually take Javonte, just in case. It says there's only a 5% chance that he's taken. I'm not going to risk it because I think a good receiver is still going to drop to me. So he took Tyler Boyd, so I'm taking DJ Chark. This one I'm examining too. So I'm in the 8th round. Michael Carter sitting there. Potential to hit. Excuse me. And then Marvin Jones. I like Marvin Jones, but I already have part of their offense, so I don't want to double up. This is probably where I'm going to reach on Jalen Waddle a little bit. Then we'll take a look at the draft board after this, just so you can see what I'm saying. So now I have potential 1 with Jalen Waddle in the 9th, Michael Carter in the 8th, and Javonte Williams in the 6th. Those are 3 potential great keeper picks for next year to kind of keep everything running in the right direction. And that's kind of my mindset with this. In a typical redraft league, I probably wouldn't reach for these guys so early. I'd wait and see if they fell to me, and maybe even a round later for each of them. But in a keeper league, I'm not going to hesitate to take them, just a chance that they hit, become second and first round picks next year, then they become steals. So, keeper league. My keeper was Austin Eckler this year in the 2nd. Not great value, really okay value. He usually goes pick 1-6, 1-7, 1-8 right now. So I am getting a little bit of value, but it's not as good of a value as like Javonte Williams in the 6th if Javonte Williams becomes the Antonio Gibson of this year. That's my mindset with that. All right, moving on. This last one is called Best Ball. If you've never played Best Ball before, it is the least maintenance, least stressful fantasy football league you can do. You don't even have to set your lineups in these leagues. There are no trades, no waiver wire, nothing to do after you draft. Put your money in, wait till the end of the season, see how you're doing. There are some specific modifications you can make to your league so more players on your team are playing, and I would recommend that. So the settings we did is 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and 3 flex positions, 10 bench players. You want a big bench because you're not picking up people, so you need to have enough people to support your team if someone gets injured. With this, the computer automatically inserts your highest scoring players into your lineup for each week. So we are chasing upside. Okay, this is a 10-man league. I'm drafting 8th. So I am chasing upside, upside, upside. I know I usually say pick your running backs early and often, sure. But this is all about points, baby. This is all about, you want those boom weeks. Devontae Adams scores 10 touchdowns every year. If he's there, I'm taking him. Also, another thing with these leagues, you want to stack. Stack offenses as much as possible to capture those weeks where they score 45 points. Boom or bust. You want to capture the boom. So now I'm already on all in on the Green Bay Packers. So I have to get Aaron Rodgers later on in this draft. It's almost a must. So these two here, I think one of these guys will fall to me right here. That's my prediction. So I'm going to go back here. I love Terry McLaurin's upside. I think he could be a top 5 receiver. So there, like I said, I think one of them will fall there. I was okay with all of them. They're all in about the same tier. If I had to pick one of these guys, I'd either go Dobbins or Carson. I don't like his situation this year with the offense. He might have a high workload, but it's literally just going to be him out there. Their defense are going to target him, key in on him. I think his upside's kind of limited because of that. Carson's great if he's healthy. Lamar Jackson could eat away at Dobbins' touchdown upside, so I'm going to go with Carson. See what happens when it comes back. I've already decided I'm waiting on QB. If not, Murray would be tempting there. But let's get another receiver. Higgins versus Ayuk. I like Higgins and I like Ayuk. I'm going to take the upside, see what happens. Hopefully Higgins comes back to me, and he did. So I'm taking Higgins again. So now I got them both. Killing it. Loving this draft so far. My perfect draft right here would be Hawkinson and then Aaron Rodgers. And then I'll show you guys the draft board. This draft's good, guys. This draft's really good. Got Javonte Williams there. He should be the workhorse running back by week 6 or 7. Locked and loaded. I'm loving it. Devontae Parker. I'm really not going to reach on any of them. Dallas Goedert right there. I might take another receiver. Let's see what I got here. Do I have anybody else I can stack right off the gate? Devontae, Jones, Carson. I might do the Russell Wilson Carson stack, so I capture that offense as well. So now I have 2 stacks so far going. And then this is when we start shooting for high upside players. You know, those deep threats like McCole Hardman. I like McCole Hardman. I like Marvin Jones. He has a chance to be the wide receiver 1 there. I like Elijah Moore. I'm shooting them off. Nelson Aguilar is the perfect best ball situation because 1 week he'll go 3 for 150 and 3 touchdowns, and the next week he'll go 0 for 0 yards. Those are the kind of players I'm shooting for. Capture all his big weeks. And I'm loading up on the receivers. I'm just trying. James White might pop off 1 week. Fine. Let's see what happens. Is there any tight ends left? Jonu's still sitting there. All right, I'm going to stop it there. So let's see what we got here. So I went Devontae, Aaron Jones, and Aaron Rodgers. So I have the Green Bay stack. I have Russell Wilson with Chris Carson. Obviously, I would like to have Tyler Lockett or DK. Kind of have to draft them pretty early. None of them got to me. It's all good. I have Ayuk, Higgins, 2 young stud receivers. McLaurin, top 5 potential. You're just looking for that upside. Pretty good draft there. So, you've got to watch me draft 4 different teams for 4 different leagues with 4 completely different looks and 4 completely different perspectives of how I draft for these leagues. You should start adopting some of these rules, trying different leagues out to keep your leagues interesting because it gets pretty stagnant and boring doing the same thing every time. Diversify your revenue. What I'm trying to say is if you have multiple players in the same tier's position, but you have 3 shares of one player already and none of the other, draft the one that you have none of. You want to make sure that you are capturing as many shares in the same tiers as you are, so you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. In case that guy gets hurt or for some reason bust, you're not hurt for the whole season. Thanks for tuning in. This was a long one. This is one of those episodes that could have been multiple, but I want to combine everything, bring you guys the best content possible. I hope you all have a blessed day. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're killing it, guys. We're going to keep killing it. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you sometime soon. Thanks. Peace.